Welcome to RS EHS Academy. Learning module on understanding the dust explosion, factors of Pentagon, and causes of dust explosion and adequate controls. Dust explosion, a rare event but catastrophic when it happens. It is an initial, that is primary explosion in processing equipment or in an area where fugitive dust has accumulated, may shake loose more accumulated dust or damage a containment system such as a duct, vessel or collector. The additional dust dispersed into the air may cause one or more secondary explosions. These can be far more destructive than a primary explosion. A Chemical Safety Board study shows from 1996 to 2005, a total number of 106 explosions resulted in 16 fatalities and 126 injuries at an estimated cost of $162.8 million in damages to the facilities. The first documented dust explosion occurred in Turin, Italy, in a bakery in 1785. The explosion was caused by the ignition of floor dust by a lamp in a bakery storeroom. It leads to the realization that grain dust is a highly explosive substance that must be handled carefully. That is declared by OSHA. This is a picture of cascading explosions, where how primary explosion happens and then secondary explosion. Dust explosion in a work area, that is dust settles on a flat surface. Some event disturbs the settled dust into a cloud, and dust cloud is ignited and explodes. Dust explosion in an equipment, how it happens is shown here. Dust explosion in an equipment, which is shown in repeated sequence for better understanding. It is with dispersal and ignition of 2 kg dust by the flame jet. Timeline in dust explosion is very important. The following 9 slides depicts a timeline for a dust explosion and the results of that explosion. Dust explosion event. Primary deflagration inside process equipment starts. Then next, in few seconds, shock wave caused by primary deflagration. And further, in few milliseconds, shock wave reflected by surface within the building cause accumulated dust to go into suspension. Then dust cloud thrown in the air by the shock waves. After that, primary deflagration breaks out of the equipment enclosure, creating a source of ignition. Due to that, secondary deflagration ignited. Secondary deflagration is propagated through the dust clouds. Secondary deflagration burst from the building. And this is the end result, collapsed building with remaining fires. Remember that types of dust involved in explosions are: wood constitutes 34%, grain 24%, synthetics 14%, coal and paste consist 10%, metals 10%, paper 2%, and other 6%. Required conditions for an explosion. The dust must be combustible and fine enough to be airborne. The dust cloud must beat the minimum explosive concentration for that particular dust. There must be sufficient oxygen in the atmosphere to support and sustain combustion. There must be a source of ignition, and the dust must be confined and must be dry. As per the data, ignition sources were from smolder spots 9%, static electricity 9%, friction 9%, fire 8%, hot surfaces 6.5%, self-ignition 6%, welding 5%, mechanical sparks 30%, others 2.5%, electrical equipment 3.5%, and there are some unknown, that is 11.5% reasons. Explosive limits. The minimum explosive concentration for grain dust, grain flour, or ground feed ingredients varies according to the particle size and energy. That is, smaller particles are more powerful. Caloric value of the depends on the caloric value of the product, and cornstarch is considered as one of the more volatile and powerful grain products. And as the size of the product decreases, the risk of deflagration or explosion increases. Facility dust hazard assessment. Combustible dust explosion hazard may exist in a variety of industries like food industry, plastic industry, wood industry, rubber, furniture, textiles, pesticide industry, pharmaceuticals, dyes, coal, metal industries, and fossil fuel power generation industries. The prevalence of dust. Examples materials that have historically caused dust explosion, which include cosmetics, coal, dyes, grain and other dry fruits, metal, pharmaceuticals, plastic and rubber, printer toner, soaps, textiles, and wood and paper. Where do dust explosion may occur? Dust explosions for grain usually occur at transfer points as in bucket elevators or enclosed conveyors. In 1997, 50% of primary explosions occurred in elevator legs, as per OSHA log. Accumulation of dust in suspended ceilings, cyclone collectors, electrostatic collectors, and holding bins. Explosion safeguards, that is fire prevention and protection, proper housekeeping, and installation of dust control system. Fire prevention and control. Policies, practices, and procedures designed to keep the conditions necessary for a fire from coming together, that is explosive pentagon. That is, fuel is dust, dust is dry, dust is at MEC, there is oxygen and ignition source in a confined or enclosed space, and mixing of fuel and oxygen. Explosive pentagon contains fuel, ignition, confinement, and dispersion and oxygen. If we remove any one element, it prevents explosion but not necessarily fire. Fire prevention and controls can be done by hot work permit system, lockout tagout policies, design specification for storage of flammable materials, severity reduction policies, practices and procedures designed to minimize the spread of fire, emergency plans, alarm systems, portable fire extinguishers, cleanup policies, practices and procedures designed to return the affected area to an operational level, first aid, recharging portable extinguishers, removal of debris to an appropriate waste site, equipment and facility repair. Dust control. NFPA 654 contains comprehensive guidance, and some of its recommendations are: minimize the escape of dust from process equipment or ventilation system, that is fugitive dust. Use dust collection system and filters. Utilize surfaces that minimize dust accumulation and facilitate cleaning. NFPA 654 guidance also includes: provide access to all hidden areas to permit inspection. Inspect for dust residue in open and hidden areas at regular intervals, and clean dust residue at regular intervals. Dust control as per NFPA 654. Use cleaning methods that do not generate dust clouds if ignition sources are present. Only use vacuum cleaners approved for dust collection. Locate relief valves away from dust hazard areas, and develop and implement a hazardous dust inspection, testing, housekeeping, and return control program that is written with established frequency and methods. Dust control. Reducing dust accumulations is a major concern for facilities that produce dust. A good housekeeping program depends upon a combination of methods to control dust. The methods used in a given facility will depend upon the type of facility and the volume of organic material handled or produced. Housekeeping. A crucial key to the reduction of fires and explosion is the housekeeping. Housekeeping relates to hazards in addition to fires and explosion. Research has shown that facilities that are well maintained experience fewer fires, explosions, and other accidents. NFPA 654 and FM Global Data Sheet are referenced. Clean immediately wherever a dust layer of 1 by 32 inch thickness accumulates over a surface area of at least 5% of the floor area of the facility or any given room, not to exceed 1000 square feet. Fugitive dust control and housekeeping. Surfaces shall be cleaned in a manner that minimizes the generation of dust clouds. Vigorous sweeping or blowing down with steam or compressed air produces dust clouds and shall be permitted only if the following requirements are met. That is, area and equipment vacuumed prior to blowdown. Electrical power and other sources of ignition shut down or removed from the area. Only low gauge pressure, that is 15 psi, steam or compressed air to be used. No hot surface capable of ignition, a dust cloud or layer. Dust control methods. Vacuums, especially in areas where dust accumulation is constant due to the job task being performed. Wash down procedures where hoses and water can be used to remove accumulated dust. Choke feed to control the flow of grain and grain dust. Dust control systems such as filters or cyclones. Recognizing dust hazards. All employees should be trained in hazard recognition. Conduct general facility-wide appraisal of dust explosion possibilities on a periodical basis. Conduct internal and external audits in order to identify potential explosion hazards. Encourage a preventive attitude among employees for dust explosions. Have employees and supervisors identify explosion hazards through JHAs. Pay particular attention to dust collection system and other areas not in plain view during the assessment. Engineering controls. Avoid the use of compressed air for blowdown and dry sweeping. Conduct workforce training and education courses. Limit and control potential ignition sources. Ensure electrical service in combustible dust area is appropriate for hazardous class 2 locations. Follow National Fire Protection Association Standard 654. Ensure operations involving dust have proper engineering design and controls. Maintain an effective housekeeping program and establish and maintain a preventive maintenance program. Summary. Dust explosions are a serious problem in various industries. During the past 25 years, at least 281 major combustible dust incidents were reported that killed 119 and injured 718 workers and destroyed many industrial facilities. Facilities failed to follow the widely recognized standards of good engineering practices in the NFPA's voluntary consensus standards. Facilities, if do not implement appropriate engineering control, perform adequate maintenance, do not implement good housekeeping practices, if don't follow other measures that could have prevented the explosions, and provide adequate hazard recognition training to employees, and do not establish overall safe work practices are on risk. Remember, prevention is better than cure. Work safely and be safe. Thank you for watching. Please note that the information in this video is general and for safety awareness only. You have to follow your company guidelines.